Welcome to A Geek's Garage. So if you've been watching this channel over the past 2 years, I rebuilt a 1991 Dodge Stealth RT Twin Turbo. Basically a 3000 GT, but it had the Dodge name on it, so it fit into my wheelhouse. I've basically finished the work on that. There's still a few little things that need to get done, but I'm going to pick those up in the spring. Now I'm going to be working on my 1984 Dodge Rampage. I picked this car up probably about a year and a half ago. I got it from Vermont. I picked it up from Vermont and brought it home. There's a video. I'll put a link to it if you want to see the video of me going out to get this thing. But basically, since I got it, it's been sitting in storage. I couldn't pass it up because it was just too unique of a little odd duck to pass by. So I put it in storage. And this winter is the winter where I start working on it. So, what do you want to know about the 1984 Dodge Rampage? Well, let's take a look at it. We'll sort of go through it. We'll see what's in here. I think I may have done this in the other video, but we'll do this as a refresher to kind of give you an idea of what we're dealing with here. The Dodge Rampage was manufactured for just 3 short years, from 1982 to 1984. A total of only 37,401 Rampages were produced. The lesser-known Plymouth Scamp only had 3,564 sold, bringing the total to 40,965 total cars ever sold that look similar to my Rampage here. Compare that to the 569,388 Ram 1500s that were sold in just 2021, and you get an idea of just how few of these trucklets were really made. The Rampage came with a Chrysler-made 2.2-liter 4-cylinder engine that made between 84 and 99 horsepower depending on the year. In theory, this engine made 99 horsepower, but it's not really clear how many of those horses may have escaped in the previous 38 years. But she does go down the road pretty decently. Timing belt, alternator, got your power steering pump over in there. When I first got this, I was a little confused about this. It seemed like there was some stuff missing right here, and actually there is. There was a smog control system that used to go on that side, and somebody went ahead and removed it. So apparently this thing is now bad for the environment. But still runs without it, although one thing I did find when I first started trying to get it to run, a lot of the vacuum lines were not hooked up correctly, so you'll notice I've got a whole bunch of little dots all over the vacuum lines, and that was so that I could actually trace them out and get the engine running a little bit more smoothly. It was not idling well before. Now it idles a little better, but it is pretty rough. So that's one of the things I'm going to be hopefully working on this winter. What else can we talk about here? Believe it or not, this is actually the car computer. I did have a computer way back in '84, so you got to really hope that those things don't go bad because they're almost impossible to replace. You'll notice a nice wooden stick. That is from the previous owner because if you take a look, the hood's got a little lean to it. It doesn't really do a great job of holding itself up in the air. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look inside the interior. And I'll show you one of the reasons that made me decide that I really wanted to buy this thing. I don't know how well it's going to show up in the video, but the interior in this is immaculate. It is super clean. The rugs need to be cleaned a little bit, but the seats are like brand new. Quite frankly, all of the plastic trim is in really good shape. And She's only got 51,000 original miles. And I say they're original because every piece of paperwork that I can find on this thing shows it never made it past 51,000 miles. There's a few things that do need to be worked on in here. One, it just needs a really good clean. Two, the turn signal stock, the high beams don't work. I actually have a spare one of those, so at some point in time we'll be putting that in. The other big thing that I'm planning on working on in here is the headliner. The headliner has completely dropped, and you know, quite frankly, after however many years this is, 30 some odd years, it doesn't really surprise me. So we'll be pulling the headliner and making an attempt at fixing that. Door cards are in really good shape. Again, they just need a little bit of sprucing up, a little bit of cleaning, so we're going to go ahead and do that. The windows go up and down. I am going to need to grease the tracks because they're pretty rough. The other thing that I'm going to attempt to find is new rubber, because as you can see, the rubber is all cracked. But what's nice is, because we're in the new garage, I can open the door all the way up. I don't have to worry about people banging into it or anything like that. So when I'm doing the work on the doors, I can just have them opened. So that is the interior. And like I say, it is really, really clean. So let's take a look at what made the Rampage a truck. They really wanted you to know that this had the 2.2 liter engine. It is written all over the vehicle. 2.2. 2.2. 2.2. The body's in pretty good shape. There are a few rust spots, some patina, if you will. As many of the vehicles did in the 80s. Locking gas cap, and I actually have the key for the lock. You'll also notice that there is a dent. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to push that out. Once I do a little bit of work on the inside, I'm going to see if there's some way for me to pull that out or push it out so that it gets back to not creased. But then here you go. This, the tiny little truck bed. The Rampage had a load capacity of 1,145 pounds, which was almost as much as the Chevy El Camino. It comes with tire iron, a couple of floor mats, a bunch of plastic pieces, a timing belt, got, I think that's, yep, engine coolant, timing belt cover, possibly a wheel well based on the amount of dirt, various sundry bolts, and more pieces of plastic. It also has the antenna and the piece of black trim that goes at the bottom of that window there. As you can see, the bed is actually in really nice shape. Again, nothing really rusted all the way through. There is some damage to the rear. I have to see what we can do about that. But then the elephant in the room is the cap. The fiberglass cap on this thing is not original to this vehicle. It came from another Rampage. The previous owner took it off the other Rampage because it was completely shot, threw it on here. All of the rubber seals are really bad. There are some cracking in it that might show up right there. And you can see just some swirl marks, and somebody had something sitting on top of this with round feet on it because it's kind of like pushed in and made some indents. I don't know if I'm keeping this thing or not. I think it actually looks sportier without it on there. And I'm thinking about trying to find a tonneau cover instead and putting that in here so that it's a little bit sleeker looking.
But I'm curious what you think. Leave some comments down below on what you think I should do with the cap on this thing.
So there you have it. This is the winter project, 1984 Dodge Rampage. Let me know down in the comments what you think of it. More importantly, let me know what you think. I'm trying to figure out what to actually do with this. Do I keep it all stock, all original, leave the standard 2.2 engine in there, or do we look to try and turbocharge the existing engine? I've been told back in the 80s that that was something you could do with these things. You could actually add a small turbo, bump it from 96 horsepower to 136 horsepower or more. Or do I pull the engine entirely and try and put a little bit newer engine in there? I've seen some people who drop in 2.5s and then turbocharge those. There's a bunch of different things that I can do with this. I'm just not sure what project I want to take on. So I'm kind of curious what you think. What should I do with this thing? Leave your comments down below. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this. Come along with me and we'll see what we do with this. And be sure you like, subscribe, all those fun things. And until the next video, see ya.